You know, there's something I was just sitting here thinking about. Um, and that's about just like how far I've come, just throughout the years of my entire life and all the things that I went through and everything that I endured getting to this point now. And I'm I'm pretty sure that if I was to tell you guys my whole entire story, I'm pretty sure a lot of you can relate to me, but there is one thing that I did suffer from my whole entire life, and that one thing was insecurity. I had been very insecure my whole entire life, but I didn't really come to terms with it until I actually got in my early 20s, like towards my like I would say towards my middle teen years, towards my middle 20s, and I didn't really come to terms with it because I think that I was so focused on blocking everything out and not really facing it and not really accepting the reality of how God really made me. And for so many years, I psyched myself out and pretended that none of those insecurities existed. And I pretended that none of the flaws within myself had existed. And I did it for so long that once I finally realized the flaws that I had within myself, it really hit me like a wrecking ball. Like it punched me like really hard, like in the chest. The funny thing about it is that I was always insecure about my looks. I never thought I was the most attractive person in the world. Um, Another thing that I was insecure about was my height. Um, I've always convinced myself that I was tall, even though I'm not tall. I'm not a tall person, but I'm not a midget either. Um, like, I'm like 5'7", 5'6", 5'7". I believe I'm 5'7". I believe that's what the doctor said. I'm somewhere around there. So my whole entire life, I like the majority of that time, I've been, convincing myself that 5'7" was really short, and I've always felt that I was a super short person. So in my mind, I pretended that I was actually tall, and I've always convinced myself that I was at least 5'9" or 5'10". But then once I finally came to the realization, no, you're not 5'10". You're actually the height that you are. It actually took me a minute to really, really realize it, and it started to mess with me mentally. And it took me many, many years to really love myself and to tell myself that, hey, you are who you are. You are who God made you to be. You're not an ugly person. You dress very fashionably. You catch people's attention. The things that you do actually gets positive praise and reviews back from a lot of people, and I tell myself this because that actually is true. A lot of things that I do in public, whether I'm giving an opinion on something or whether I'm giving factual evidence on something, or if I'm just doing something politically, or if I'm just doing something for someone, because I do have a big heart. Um, Whatever I'm doing, 9 out of 10 times I get positive feedback from it. People are always telling me how nice of a person I am, or how nice looking I am. And the funny thing is that when people will walk up to me and tell me that I'm nice looking, like I would smile and I would say, "Oh, thank you, that's nice." But then deep down, I would be like, I ain't all that to look at. I'm like, whatever. I am not cute, and I really convinced myself of that. And like I just feel like I'm gonna give myself a I felt like I was giving myself a mental problem, like I was giving myself like some kind of disorder or something. But like now that I'm looking back on everything, like I'm 26 years old now. So looking back on everything, there's moments like every once in a while where I will look at myself and I'll go, I'll be like, oh, okay, you're not looking too cute today. But then I'll catch myself and I'll just be like, boy, you look fine. You know, it's a long process. And, you know, it's just that when you finally come to terms with something and once you finally accept something as for what it is, it's going to come a lot easier. So my best advice to people is, you know, just love yourself, because if you can't love yourself, you're not going to be able to love another person. And I actually thank God for him bringing some of the people in my life, because you know he never gives you more than what you can handle. And people are always brought in your life for a reason. They're either to make you or to make you a better. They're either to make you, or they're either to teach you a life lesson. So that's just the way I look at it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that.